Hey guys, it's Marriage Monday, and today I wanted to talk about being our husband's helpmate. If you're new to my channel, my name's Alana, and my channel is all about marriage, homemaking, healthy living, and homeschooling, and I would love for you to subscribe. When we think about being our husband's helper, I think that very often our minds immediately go to physical tasks, making sure his laundry is clean, making sure there's food in the house, making sure the house is tidy and inviting and comfortable for him. And all of those things are great. Those things make his life easier, most definitely. We want to help our husbands in those ways, especially if those ways are important to him. But we have to open our minds and realize that all of our husbands are different. Each husband is going to need something different from his wife, some things that we wouldn't think about or imagine. So we need to be very on the lookout for, how is my husband needing my help? I know that in my marriage, I've had to learn this. I think that helping my husband remember things is not something that I would have considered a way that I would be his helpmate, but it has turned out to be a huge way that I am his helpmate. He specifically asks me, remind me of these things, help me to remember these things. Does that mean he's not a good leader because he's not remembering these important things on his own? No, God himself said it is not good for man to be alone. I will make him a suitable helper. Here I am for my husband. I am helping him. And one of the ways he needs me is to remind him of things that are important. And I'm talking about really important, like remembering the gospel when we address our children, doing devotionals every night, making sure that we give the children opportunities to pray. These are things he's on board about, he wants to do, but his mind is so filled with providing for the family, doing his coffee business, making sure he's spending one-on-one time with the children, making sure he's giving me time, making sure he's doing everything for his job. Men's minds are like so consumed with providing that sometimes they forget these things, and we're here to help them remember. You can take one of two approaches with this mentality. Be bitter and annoyed about it that he doesn't remember on his own. It's important, he should know it. Or say, oh, this is a way I can help my husband. I'm going to help him remember these things. For a long time, I did the first because I just thought, I remember. How come you don't? And then I realized, oh, because he doesn't think the way I do, because he's a different human than I am, because his mind is consumed with other things. Mine is consumed with parenting because I'm at home all day, every day with the children. And by the time he gets home, I'm done with my housework and my mind is just on the family. He is fighting to have his mind on the family, but it's also on other things. And so I can be such a blessing to him by helping him remember these things versus pick battles with him and argue with him over the fact that he doesn't remember them on his own. So think about ways in your marriage that you might be blind to your husband needing your help and not fulfilling your call and your design by the Lord himself to be your husband's helper. I know that it can be difficult sometimes to accept the ways that he needs our help because we want them to think the way that we think and we want them to function the way that we function. But that right there is the curse in play, us desiring to control our husbands. And we're going to be in constant war with that, you guys. This also opens the door for letting your husband be the leader. Very often, we think that we have to take the initiative and be the leader, unless you're married to like one of these super intentional guys that are like, I have the week's Bible study for the family prepared. Like, there's men like that out there, but I think most of the time it's the opposite. So if you're married to one of those, cool. If you're not, like me, and mostly all the women I know, we can help our husbands be the leaders by following, you guys. They don't have to be super intentional and outspoken to be good leaders in the home. They can lead if you help them lead by putting the ball in their court. This is what I do. This might be helpful to you. This might not be helpful to you. All of our husbands are different. This is how I help my husband. I ask him questions and it puts the ball in his court and he has to decide. So if I have a plan, I will run it by him. Hey, what do you think about this? If he says yes, he just led and said, that's what we're doing. If he wants to change it, I will follow. And that is allowing him to lead, presenting him with something, letting him tell me what he wants, and then following submissively and respectfully and joyfully and cheerfully. And that is helping them, kind of like forcing them to lead without them even realizing it. And they love it because they see you following, and that creates a motivation to continue to lead and to be a good leader. So I want to challenge you to look for those opportunities in your marriage Please share ways that you have learned that your husband needs your help that you wouldn't have imagined, and now that you know and you're able to do that. Or if this video helps you identify a way that your husband needs help that you've been blind to, share that with us and go do that. And share with us what kind of leader husband you have. Is he super intentional, or do you need to help him in that as well? I do find with the first thing I was talking about ways that our husbands need our help, that a lot of women get and sound frustrated and bitter about these things. And I can relate to that. I can't believe this. I can't believe that. Why can't he just... Think about the things in your life that make you act and respond that way towards your husband, and I guarantee you those are probably ways that you're blind to him needing your help, and you can fulfill those things and make your life and his life so much easier. But there needs to be a major heart change on your part. Instead of being annoyed and bitter about it, frustrated that he doesn't think and function the way you think and function, you need to be a servant and gracious and willing and excited to bless him and help him the way that you are called to do. Think about what a privilege it is that God said, man can't be alone. He needs a wife. And that's you. How can you be annoyed at that? How can you be annoyed that God said, your husband needs you? He needs you. How can you find that insulting or offensive when we're frustrated that they can't figure it out on their own without our help? That's what we're saying to God. You made a foolish design, God. Instead of, Lord, thank you for giving me this privilege. I want to take joy in the fact that you have made me to help this man. And if you do that well, not only will you bless your husband, you are glorifying God, and you are being a beautiful picture for the world to see the model of Christ and the church and the biblical design of marriage. It is not good for man to be alone. So go bless that man that God's giving you and show him what a blessing you are to him as well. I hope this is encouraging to you. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Please subscribe and have a great day. Some practical ways that I help my husband, which might be helpful to you, is helping him remember family's birthday, his sisters, his mom, his nieces and nephews' birthdays, sending gifts for those people on their birthdays, for Mother's Day, anniversaries, stuff like that. Planning to invite people over to practice hospitality. Once people are here, he is the most hospitable person on the planet, but the actual planning would never happen if it wasn't for me. So making sure to extend the invitation to people to get to know new members of the church and young people from the church. Letting him know what's going on during the week so that he knows what nights are free, what nights are not, is also helpful. Any annoying phone calls to companies, stuff like that, I usually do just to take the burden off of him. Some husbands handle finances, some wives handle finances. I handle the finances in our home. That's something he's appointed to me, and so I do that. Those are the ones I can think of right now off the top of my head. I'm sure after I post this video, I'll be like, oh, I should have said that, but you get the idea. Those are ways that I am able to help my husband, along with the domestic things that I covered in the beginning, the home, the laundry, the food, etc. So I'd love to hear ways that you help your husband, especially unique ways that he needs help, because that's really interesting, and it might minister to someone else who might be able to relate to you.